there's a certain spacing to the planets. It's not equal, but there is a certain proportion. As you move outward, the spacing becomes larger, but it's proportionate. And so where the asteroid belt is, there should be a planet. But there's not a planet. It's just a big band of asteroids around the sun. And there's two opposing views of that, right? One view is that it's a planet that was there and exploded and spread its debris around the asteroid belt. The other view, which is probably more likely, is that that's just a part of the original formation of the solar system that didn't get swept. It's like having a broom, you know, with a big chunk out of the broom and you're sweeping the floor and you leave that big trail of dust behind. It's just a big trail of debris because there wasn't a planetesimal close enough to pull in that material into its mass. But the asteroid belt is just a belt of large chunks of rock. So you're dealing with a chunk of rock, looks like a big potato, but it's the size of the city. So imagine a potato the size of Dallas, stone potato, size of Dallas. That's a pretty good idea of an asteroid. So you wouldn't want one hitting the Earth, right? Just had a near miss of an asteroid last year, didn't we? They don't tell us about those things. They make movies about them. Deep Impact, Armageddon. These are photographs of asteroids that have been taken by NASA during its probes. Here's a binary asteroid. You can see they're dancing around each other, filling each other's gravitational field. Most of them have irregular shapes like a dog bone. This is shows a series of movements, how it moves sort of tumbling through space. Most, though, are irregular sort of potato shapes. You can see impact craters in them. Here's one that seems to be a conglomeration of materials stuck together. This is a close-up of the surface of an asteroid. So you can see they have geography. Like other objects, it's just much smaller in scale than a planet or a moon. But anyway, these are just images of some of the asteroids that have been photographed out in space so that you'd know what they look like. And as they pass by, you can even get a sense of their movement in space. This is much faster than the actual movement. I think this is like a 2-hour or 3-hour loop. But you can still see that they're floating. Gigantic chunks of rock just floating in the void of space. This is kind of a frightening diagram. That represents Earth, and these are asteroids. And this is like a month, like 2 months. So let's see. Yeah, is there one coming? Oop, almost got us. That one just barely, oop, man. Yes. Thank goodness for our atmosphere, because when asteroids enter the atmosphere, they're usually broken up into smaller fragments. Also, you can thank the Lord that 70% of the Earth's surface is ocean, right? Mm-hmm. Because that means there's a 7 out of 10 chance it's not even going to hit dry land. It's going to hit in the ocean somewhere. But anyway, there have been large comet and asteroid impacts on Earth, even in historic times. But either they hit in the sea, or there was one impact in Russia, and near Siberia, which they believe was a comet. But the thing is they're such massive objects, many times they explode in the upper atmosphere, so there's not really an impact of material. It's just energy that hits the Earth. And we'll talk about that more later. It's a very rare event for an asteroid, especially a large asteroid, to hit the Earth. You can see impact craters on the asteroid, some of them quite large. Here's an older impact crater with a smaller one inside of it that they overlap.